Welcome, beautiful Paris Saint-Germain family, and today I will be answering the question, was the FIFA the best, rigged or not? Let's get into this. So, first of all, something that everyone has to know is that the FIFA the best is not voted by, 3, 5, 10 judges. It's voted by coaches and football players around the world. And unlike the Ballon d'Or, which is voted by journalists, where you could maybe say it could have been rigged. There's a lot of bias there. But here it's players and coaches. So if you want to blame anyone, you can blame players and coaches for their vote. But it certainly cannot be rigged. It could be a bit biased. But for me, what this tells me is that every football player that voted for this sees the World Cup as the epicenter of football. They like the Champions League. They think it's the big thing. But when it comes to the biggest tournament, the biggest prize to win is the World Cup. It has the most PR because that's what the players think deserves the most PR. If the player think it deserves the most PR, then it deserves the most PR. So, first thing I'm totally against is this goalkeeper thing. Because I remember we had this issue back in, I think it was 2018 after that World Cup. Because I remember, I think Courtois won goalkeeper of the year, whilst David De Gea was in the team XI. And now we saw it again with Emi Martinez winning the goalkeeper of the year, but Thibaut Courtois being in the best XI. And what this tells me is that everybody knows that Courtois was the best goalkeeper this year and De Gea was the best goalkeeper at that time. But they're like, for what they did at the World Cup, because it's the biggest stage in football, they deserve an award. It's very similar to the Lewandowski Best Striker Award when Benzema won the Ballon d'Or. Like, what kind of contradiction is that? Because for me, the biggest issue with FIFA the best is that it has become a sympathy award. The best way to explain that is the Puskas goal. For me, as a Paris Saint-Germain fan, I believe Dimitri Payet should have won it. I believe that was the best goal. Even though I'm a PSG fan, I would want a Marseille player to win it because I felt that was the best goal I've seen this year. But they gave it to the handicap. And for me, I have no issue with the handicap. He can play football. He can score great goals. But that was definitely not the best goal of 2022. And for me, as I said, it's a sympathetic award because people feel sorry for him and give him that award. And that's not how you should be giving out awards. I don't want this to be a sympathetic ceremony. We shouldn't be giving away the best awards to sympathetic causes, for sympathetic reasons. I don't get it. It's handicap tax. And now it's Argentina tax with Emi Martinez. Because was he the best goalkeeper in the year? No. It was Courtois. But Emi Martinez won it because what he did for Argentina meant so much. But he had already won the Golden Glove at the World Cup. Isn't that the award that he deserved? He definitely deserved that award and took it home. So why should he then go and take this award as well for the best goalkeeper in this calendar year? It's a bit of contradiction here, especially when Courtois, of course, was in the XI. Second of all, Scolani. For me, Scolani, I think he deserved it. Because it's not just about the World Cup, it's about Argentina, what they did, what he did. Because Argentina have gone through so many managers, so many different players in this Messi era, and have never, had a really solid team. In 2014, I think they just, they had that fighting spirit. But this time, it was the fighting spirit, of course, but it was much more than that. And I believe that Ancelotti won the Champions League, but what Scolani did with Argentina, for me, it's deserved. For me, I wouldn't even say it's Argentina tax, maybe a small bit, but I think he deserved because he was really influential. For example, I was really critical of him in the first game versus Saudi Arabia, but he fixed up and yeah, it worked perfectly. And then for me, as I said, this is not rigged. It can't be rigged. You can't go to every player and, bribe them or something. It cannot be rigged. This is just the head of football players. This is the thinking of them. They rate the World Cup so much. But for me, the voting results in the FIFA Best Men's Player of the Year 2022, that's a bit questionable. For me, I've said it on Twitter. I thought Kylian Mbappe was the best player in 2022. But as I said, if people want to rate the World Cup that much, yeah, Messi won it. Messi won it. Even though Mbappe took France to that World Cup final, scored a hat-trick in that final, Messi won it. And I don't really have that big of an issue. I don't have that big of an issue. I have an issue with Real fans. Because both Messi and Benzema were more, both Messi and Mbappe were more deservedly of winning this trophy than Benzema. Like Benzema had a stinky this season and wasn't at the World Cup and couldn't get that World Cup PR. And people say, oh, if Benzema was there, they would have probably won the World Cup. Yeah, but that doesn't matter. It's not ifs and buts. This is football. If you don't do it, you haven't done it. It's that simple. So I don't really get Benzema raw. Benzema got his Ballon d'Or. Fully deserved for the 21-22 season. But he was not the best player in 2022. Both Mbappe and Messi were better than him. So please stop. Please stop. After that, Modric. Okay. Haaland. Okay. Yeah, sure. Sadio Mane, absolutely not. But again, it's AFCON Senegal tax here. Julian Alvarez. That is crazy. That is absolutely crazy. That's totally Argentina tax. Ashraf Hakimi at 8. Listen, that's all about the World Cup PR. Because me as a PSG fan, I can 100% say that Hakimi has not been the 8th best player in the world. Neymar 9th. I mean, maybe a bit higher. De Bruyne, I mean, he's a fraud. I don't really care about him. He shouldn't even be in this list. Vinicius Jr. He was disrespected in the Ballon d'Or list, same as Kylian Mbappe, and now disrespected again. I don't think he was the 11th best player, but again, he didn't have the best of this season and had a atrocious World Cup. Atrocious World Cup. Robert Lewandowski shouldn't be in this list. Jude Bellingham should definitely not be in this list, and same goes for Mohamed Salah. But for me, to summarize everything I've said in this video, I don't think the FIFA, the best is a rig. I don't think so. We just have to accept that PR from the World Cup is so heavy. Because when Messi won that World Cup final over Kylian Mbappe, I knew who was going to win the FIFA the best and the Ballon d'Or. Even the Ballon d'Or, it's already Messi. Especially with Messi and Mbappe playing on the same team, so they will reach the same stage in the Champions League together. So for me, it's already done. Because that's how PR works. And we've had different kind of PRs before. When some of Ronaldo's Ballon d'Ors, Modric Ballon d'Or, it's all about PR. It's all about PR. So if Real Madrid fans, because they are the most, for me, that have been irritating, just crying, oh my God, it's rigged, when they have literally the biggest PR out of any team in the world. Any team. The only thing that can come up against Real's PR is the World Cup or another Champions League winner. So I don't know why they're crying. Because if you're crying about this, then Modric did definitely not deserve his Ballon d'Or, and some of Ronaldo's was not deserved. So is it about PR now and not PR then? Are you mad now that it's Argentina tax, but not mad when it was Real Madrid tax? Please, keep it cool. Because at the moment, I'm speaking as a football fan. I'm not speaking from the PSG agenda, because I don't want to have an agenda or bias here. First of all, I'm happy that both PSG players, Messi and Mbappe, but yeah, they should definitely be first and second. Like, Real fans, stop crying. I don't get it. For me, the thing you should be crying about is that Vinicius was not in the XI or higher up. That I can totally agree with. But Benzema this, Benzema that, stop. All right, remove 2 of Cristiano's Ballon d'Ors. Remove Luka Modric's Ballon d'Or. Please, do me that favor. Will you agree that Messi coming 5th in the 2018 Ballon d'Or rankings was rigged? Was that rigged as well? Because it was better than 5th. I think Mbappe and Griezmann came ahead of him, and Mbappe at that time was a PSG player. I think Messi was better than both. But again, it was the World Cup PR. But when the World Cup PR goes with your guys' opinions, you're happy with it. When it goes against, that's when you call the tournament and FIFA the best rigged and everything. I know this is a rant to Real Madrid fans, but it's Real and Ronaldo fans, because they have been crying now. But when they got the PR, they weren't crying. I didn't see any Real Madrid fan call out Cristiano Ronaldo's Ballon d'Or or Luka Modric Ballon d'Or. Because it went with their agenda. It went with what they want. And the XI, as I said, Cancelo, Van Dijk, Hakimi backline. That's disgusting. At least Hakim has the World Cup PR. But Cancelo and Van Dijk, they have that disgusting Premier League PR. Van Dijk and Cancelo knew they shouldn't be in that lineup. Cancelo just gets shipped from Manchester City because he was benched by an 18-year-old Rico Lewis. And you're telling me he was the third best defender in the world? Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, as I said, I've answered the question. Is the FIFA the best rigged? No, it's not. And keep on crying. As I said, I think Mbappe was the best player in the world. But I get that these awards are very PR, heavy PR, even though Mbappe reached the World Cup final. So I have nothing wrong against Messi winning it. Even that he's a PSG player. If he wasn't a PSG player, I wouldn't be that mad. I wouldn't be that mad because it's very understandable. He was the best player at the World Cup. Being the best player at the World Cup, you can just say a few. And it's always extremely great players. It's always extremely great players. So it's Benzema's fault he wasn't at the World Cup. He can only blame himself for being injured. Please, stop crying. That was it. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the PSGINT YouTube channel. As always, allez, bye.